You are joining Making a Difference with Melissa Clark, a show that shares the compelling stories and voices of well-known and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Enjoy our guests, call in, or just listen to be inspired. For this show was made with you in mind. Please join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our special guests. And you can listen to our recast at www.melissaclarkshow.com.
Last week, we spoke to actress Dedee Pfeiffer about her animal advocacy and her education. This week, we discuss her hit show Big Sky that airs every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central on ABC. Thank you for joining us today on Making a Difference as we take a trip with Dedee through her journey with sobriety. She recently decided to come out about her addiction to let her fans and audience know that they are not alone. Being true to herself shows nothing but courage and strength. We want to thank Dedee for making a difference and sharing her experience. Can we dive into your sobriety for a minute and just...
Sure, yeah, I just talked about it yesterday, first time on another podcast, and something that is hard for me to talk about, only because I'm still clearly influenced by society stigma. I'm loud and proud. Ask everybody on Big Sky. I'm like, hi, Dedee Pfeiffer. I'm out of my back cave. I'm here to work. You guys will be sorry now. We're going to have some fun. Oh, and by the way, I'm sober. Right. And they're like, did she just say that out loud? And then other people come on the set and they'll be like, hey, I'm 15 years sober. Hey, I'm 10 years sober. And I'm like, hey, why are you whispering?
That's right.
Why are you whispering? And they kind of laugh and giggle. And I go, seriously. Why are all of us whispering in recovery? Why do we still hold so much shame? Because we have a disease, whether it's an addiction to food, gambling, sex, heroin, meth, alcohol, whatever. The drug of choice, it's irrelevant. It doesn't even have to be a drug. It's a behavior that makes your life kind of jacked up and not as awesome as it can be. And that's why it's important for me. I might get a lot of trash for coming out and saying this, and people might, I don't know, they have a right. But if I can help one person by saying this, it is worth it, because I know that a lot of people are struggling like me. I'm not struggling now. I can tell when I was in my disease, I was a high functioning alcoholic, high functioning. I got A's. My kids were taken care of. They were fed. I provided for them. I took care of my internship, the homeless, people with mental illness, the whole thing. I've acted for hundreds of years. Never worked sober and never went to, drunk, or never drank while in school or working. That did not mean behind closed doors I wasn't in a lot of pain.
So when did you say to yourself, enough is enough? I have to stop doing this.
All the time. Anybody who's in their addiction, they kind of like, we try. You've heard the person say, oh, I only had one drink that night instead of 5, you know?
Yeah.
5. I switched from hard alcohol to beer and wine. I went through all my pregnancies not drinking. I can't be an alcoholic. I went 9 months and breastfed without drinking. I'm not an alcoholic. See, there's these conversations we have because we really don't want to believe the truth. And also that title is just, it's icky. I don't like to say that I'm an alcoholic. I'm somebody in recovery who has alcoholism.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't define me. I would love to be a normie, somebody who, I'm sure you go have a glass of wine and that's it. That's beautiful. I can do that when I'm being tricky and I'm trying to make you think I'm not something that I really am, because only you know who you are inside. And I knew that I wasn't the best I could be, because my dad had alcoholism and there was all over my mom's side of the family. It was just salt and peppered all over our family lineage. I'm the only Pfeiffer, you know, with an addiction. Both my sisters and my brother, they didn't get it. I got it from my dad, but I also got his good skin. So it's okay. I got it. I mean, I should be a lot more wrinkly than I really am at 57. I just want to say, anybody out there who's struggling, there's help. You know, if you're in Los Angeles, Breathe is the rehab I went to. And because here's what people don't realize. Almost always when someone has an addiction, trauma is right down here.
Yeah.
Here's your life and here's your addiction, right? The weed, the roots almost always are attached to trauma, untreated, undiagnosed trauma. I'm riddled with trauma. And so you have trauma and you have addiction. You can have one without the other, but they love each other. Trauma and addiction, they're best friends.
Right.
So you can deal with the person's addiction all day long until that's just cutting the weed off. You got to get to the why. That's the work. That's the icky stuff down below. The hard stuff to work. The why are you drinking? Why are you using? Why are you using anything to an obsessive, amount? And that is key. And that's hard. And I don't know a lot of people who are in a big rush to want to deal with stuff that hurts.
Yeah.
I did it. It wasn't fun, but if it means being here today, right now, talking to you openly, and I would do it again. And it was hard.
Yeah.
It's also important for my boys. I want to show them what recovery looks like. Right? Recovery, you don't have to be scared of it.
Do you have a vice now? What?
Addiction is whack-a-mole. Okay. Addiction is whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
So I smoked and drank. So when I quit drinking, my smoking just, if it could, it somehow went even more crazy. And then I thought, well, this makes no sense, Dedee. And when I was younger, I had like food issues, anorexia, bulimia, just, again, whack-a-mole. And when I got older, it turned to alcohol, and it's whack-a-mole. So, love addiction when I was younger. So then I realized, okay, you're not going to die of alcoholism, but you're going to die now of lung cancer because now you're smoking like a chimney. Right. So I had to use the same principles I used to stop drinking, to stop smoking. Mm-hmm. Now I have a little bit of a jalapeno kettle chip and peanut M&Ms and this coffee,
Love it.
Yeah, and I know that it's not like crazy, but it's there. Like when I did my interview yesterday, I didn't want to drink, but I wanted to run away from those feelings, which is why I used to drink, right?
Right.
I know sitting in it is not good either, but leaning into it. So I leaned into how uncomfortable and vulnerable I felt telling my story of addiction. So I was like, okay, well, instead of punishing yourself with chips, why don't you just treat yourself to some chips? You don't have to have the whole bag.
Right.
You have the bag today because it is a treat. And then you get your butt on the treadmill and work that stuff off.
Do you do meditation? Do you do breathing techniques or?
I should. I was taught all of that. I think it really does work.
Yeah.
I think my meditation is when I'm on the balcony looking at the birds.
Okay. That's meditation, Dedee.
Look at the difference in their color, and I'll see one that's like really white with some pigeon, and I'm like, oh, are you half dove? Are you? It just kind of it's really calm. I think anything that calms you is meditation.
Yeah.
Gets you out of your thought box. I call it my monkey mind. I have monkey mind. Jumping.
Yeah.
Focus on one thing, one pigeon or one seagull named Gilligan, who's like a little puppy. He's a puppy seagull. And he calms me, and I look at him and I smile, and all the dopamine and serotonin and all those awesome chemicals. By the way, those are natural drugs.
Yes.
So that's what I had to learn, is what I was trying to get by drinking. I had to rediscover through things that I found joy in, to produce those chemicals in my brain that make you tingly over and feel good.
Sure.
And I had to transfer my addiction from that to that. That's why, for me, these animals, these birds, as random as it is. By the way, it could be squirrels. It could be anything. As long as it's like alive. To me, I'm going to find it interesting. I believe in aliens. Why not?
Okay.
I love traveling. I want them to come take me to their universe because I'm dying to go travel. It's been COVID. I haven't been able to travel. Right?
That's so funny. Well, let me ask you a question. When you wake up in the morning, do you feel proud of yourself? And do you have like a higher being that you speak with? I speak with God. Are you connected with something where you're like, wow, thank you for helping me through this? Because do you believe that you're doing this on your own? These are strange questions that
I know. I love your questions. And they're
thank you.
Very, in sobriety, it's important to keep humble. And a part of being humble is that to know and believe in something bigger than you. For most people, that would be God. I didn't grow up with a God. I do believe people have their gods, and I respect that as long as their God tells you to go hurt people, then I have a
right. Yeah.
Your God's jacked up, right? Your God needs to go to rehab. That sounds like a dry drunk to me.
I tell you.
Ask that in rehab. Who's your God? I'm like, never thought of it. But I was always spiritual before I lost my best friend to AIDS back in the 90s.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, I lost people. My parents, one to cancer, one to old age, actually, and a friend to COVID, one to AIDS.
It's been a journey, yeah. Sorry.
Alone. My story, I'm not special in my story. There's a whole bunch of us out there who've lost people to all sorts of stuff. That's one reason why I really do love life. So when I was asked that question about something that's bigger than me, I thought about it. And I was like, well, this thing that I'm sitting on right now, this thing called Earth, is a hell of a lot bigger and more powerful than me and much more mysterious than I ever thought of being. Not that I'm very, my sister's mysterious. I'm not. But like, she's powerful. Like I can't make that tree. I can't make it storm.
Right.
And I look up into the universe, and when the satellites are up there, and I go, "Whoa, that's bigger than me." I don't even know what's going on up there, right?
Right.
It covers down in our oceans. We know like 4% of what's going on in our oceans. There's a lot of stuff going on there. It's, all that's bigger than me.
Right.
So that's why I think I'm so connected to the earth, and that means God, or your God's creatures. I'd say Mother Earth's creatures.
Sure. The universe.
Yeah, it's the universe for sure. Would be my higher power. Also, the thing is that if you think you're all that in a bag of chips, that's a pretty lonely life to live.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of saying I don't really need anybody else or anything else, and I don't think that's true. I think people do need people. I'm only who I am today with all the incredible people in my life, and that includes my children, who are a huge part of my sobriety.
Well, you talk a lot. Last time you spoke about ego, and I like that very much about you. Ego. People let ego take over. It could work to your advantage. It could be a good thing sometimes, but most of the time, people let ego take over and they lose their connection. That's why, So, like even in sobriety or whatever, like you can't lose that connection because it breaks, and then you're alone.
Well, yeah, and I think when you and I were talking about it, we were talking about animals.
Yes.
And the mere fact that it's like, I'm human, you're a dog, or you're an animal, I'm above you, I'm superior, that's ego. That's ego.
Yeah, that's right. When
not in harmony with things that are alive. Yeah, maybe this dog can't speak English like I do, but I'm telling you, the dog does have a communication with another dog. They go smell each other's rear ends or whatever the heck it is they do, or they cry, or they giggle, or they attack each other. Right. All that communication. So they may not, that's like somebody speaking another language. I don't get that, they don't get me, but why would that make me better than them? That's just ego. That's, and I think that has to do with mankind. When we can check our ego, you're just going to probably have a better life. And I got to tell you, here's how I've been trying to live my life, which is, again, all this came from my sobriety. Always try to be a good person, but being sober has given me an opportunity to be a better person, because I ask myself questions like this when I leave this interview, or when I leave that room having gone downstairs to ask for the vacuum cleaner, right? When I leave the room, what do I want them to say behind my back? Wow, she's a bitch. She's an asshole. What a jerk. Or what do I want to leave the room and have them say, oh, I like her, or she's funny, or wow, she said something that makes me kind of think a little bit.
That's right.
Or she's a good mom. That's a big one.
That's right.
Are you going to bring light into that room and leave light behind you? Or are you going to bring in dark? Now, let me ask you a question. When was the last time ego was ever associated with light? When was ego ever associated with leaving the room and having what a great person? Wow, she's got filled with ego. I love her.
That's right. You can't compete with ego. You can't compete.
Kind of like the devil in there. It's like, or it's the dark, the yin and the yang. It's the yin and the yang, and it's not the light part of the yang or the yin. Or the, yeah.
This is this is an industry of very high ego. So when I get to meet and interview people like you, I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you for this beautiful soul. And I thank God I get a lot of them. It's very far and few in between. So, you know, we just, thank you. Once again, you have me speechless.
Thank you. Because this is why it was easy for me to take a permanent pause on acting 10 years ago. To
Yes.
real people. You know what I mean? I wanted to be around real people. And don't get me wrong. There's ego there too. I didn't like it there in the academia world.
Sure.
Any more than I liked it in the acting world. Yeah, but you know, if being a real person, an authentic person means being salmon, then put a little butter on me and garlic. You know, that's fine.
Dedee, you're too much. Let me, yeah, all right. Thank you very much for all that. You got me out in left field again. You're the only one who can do that to me. Okay. Are you utilizing your skills in acting? Are you utilizing your skills, your social from, yeah. How is that?
Well, it's kind of cool because Denise, you know, she's not on screen a lot. When I'm on screen, I try to make it so that she's a full person. So I love it. They give me lines. A lot of times I get to say what the audience is thinking, which I love. I bring into the role of Denise my my social worker lens of looking at people or situations through a macro, meso, and micro level, biopsychosocial level, open-mindedness. I come in with my clinical skills where I hard listen. I did that to Catherine one day in a scene. I'm not sure if it aired yet. Anyways, she was asking me to pick up my lines.
Yeah.
She was saying something and I was just really listening, hard listening, actively listening. And it was making it really uncomfortable. And she goes, can you pick up your lines? And I said, oh, well, this was an acting choice. And she said, like, not picking up your lines. And I was like, I'm hard listening to you, your character. I'm actively listening to you. Yeah. I go, let me ask you a question. How does it make you feel? And she goes, really uncomfortable. I said, good. That's what Denise was trying to do to your character, because you were hopping away from your pain from having lost Cody, and you were dancing around your pain. So I wanted Denise to kind of just let you sit in that for a minute.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's a skill.
And I got that from like my clinical skills and stuff. And it's funny, I didn't mean to throw her off as an actor, but I was making a character choice, and she wasn't used to that. So she was used to, like, you say your line, I say my line. And I was like, oh, hold on, we're going to do something a little different here. So I do these little teeny things that may or may not get picked up by the audience. Hopefully they do. You will always see this in every scene. Denise is a coffee drinker because she's in recovery. She pounds her coffee like every good alcoholic does, or recovering alcoholic. We drink our coffee. And my smoker lines, the whole thing, anti-smoker, not smoking anymore.
Thank God. Thank you. Congratulations with that too.
I'm telling you, that's the hardest one right there.
Yeah.
That is so hard.
I was a smoker myself. I understand.
God, yeah, it's hard. So I made Denise, that my backstory is that she's in recovery as well. That she and Cody were sober brother and sister, because Cody in the beginning had a drinking problem. He was not drinking when the pilot starts and what have you. So Denise, I played, lost her sober brother. Mm-hmm. And so whereas everybody felt a loss, having lost that character, my character lost him on a whole nother level. Just little things that are not said, they're not written. I don't even think the writers know what I'm doing, but I'm doing that. And I'm going to start putting little things around Denise's desk, like one day at a time. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
All y'all out there who are hashtag sober life, you know?
Yeah.
I talked to the writers about bringing that in. They loved it.
Nice. So you can talk to the writers and tell them your ideas. Do you ever go up to your brother, David, your brother-in-law, and say, hey?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because David and I love David. I love him, but like I love all my brothers and sisters and their siblings.
Right.
Brother-in-law, sisters-in-laws.
They're partners.
Yeah, right. He's like David. We go fishing. But the thing is that we never talk shop. I don't talk shop with my sister either. I'm gonna do a little bit. Like, I'm like, what's going on with my neck? It's all getting woggly, gobble neck. And she's like, oh, I got the good lotion for you. Mom's neck. I go, I have mom's neck. It's gross. I love her, but I don't want her neck. But we don't talk shop. And so when he offered me this job, it was very, he threw me a lifeline, by the way. He didn't know. I told you that story?
Yes, you just got out of, you were done with your master's, and it's like, what am I going to do now?
Literally just finishing my master's at the Department of Mental Health, doing my internship. And he texted me out of nowhere. He's never texted me. Hey, you still acting? I have a great role for you. I was like, oh.
Wow.
I was like, did he just offer me a what? Because like you said, I had just finished a 10-year stint in school, had not been working for teeny little gigs here, like $100 here and there, just to,
right,
some kind of money, and sold my house to pay back all my loans and what have you. So I was starting at a social worker's salary, which is like $50,000 a year, to toe. I was like, how am I going to, I did not know how I was going to make it work. I just knew that I had to stay sober, kept doing the next indicated action, believe in my heart that somehow it was going to work out if I just kept light alive, acknowledge the dark, leave room for the dark.
Yes.
Leave room for the light, but lead with the light, right? And just keep doing, on the path. And that landed in my lap. And I even said to him, I said, you just threw me a lifeline. You had no idea. He had no idea.
God bless.
So, I know. And this is when they say you get sober, all these things happen to you. I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, they're right.
It's true. Because I think you're opening up your energies to the universe, and you're subconsciously asking for things, and they're answering.
Honestly, even though I was a high functioning alcoholic, and I certainly worked as an actor, and then, and I was able to do my internship and get A's and write papers and be a mother and all that, I wasn't 100%. And by the way, it's hard. Sobriety is not easy.
No.
Any addiction is not easy. But guess what? Life isn't easy either. And being in my disease was not easy. So why would this be any different? But the rewards on this end are there if you're willing just to kind of, stay in your lane, ignore the noise, keep your poise, and remember why you're doing it.
I like that. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I can't show my boys what it looks like to make good choices if I'm not doing that.
Did they give you encouragement when you were in school? I know they're pretty bright. From the way you're speaking about them, they're pretty bright boys. They're older than their age.
When you're a single mom, and I raised them on my own, I think that when you have a single mom, it's a different way of growing up for sure.
Mm.
We're like the Three Musketeers. We love it much better when I can be their friend. They don't like it when I have to be mom. I'm like, don't make me have to be your mom. But if you're gonna do something stupid, you're gonna make me have to be a mom and tell you you're doing it wrong, or you're doing, or you're out of line, so this is disrespectful, or I have to give you set skills so if you move out, you know how to live in the world.
That's right.
There's consequences for actions. They did support me, actually. They were really supportive of me. They were. Yeah, they really were. I was hoping that my going to college would inspire them, but
are they not ready for college?
No, my 18-year-old is teaching Taekwondo, second degree black belt, wants to go into MMA.
Nice.
He's gorgeous, and he's so smart, and there goes his face and brain. But he's like, Mom, oh my God, no, the idea is I kick the other guy's butt, not them kick me. I'm like, that's not what mothers think.
Yeah.
He's kind of into forging. He's still in school though too, the other one. Forging. He makes Damascus knives from scratch, forging and fire. He does that.
Amazing.
And he's like an animal whisperer, Maximus. And Braxton does classic piano. He teaches himself piano it's like he's a prodigy. He's scary.
These kids amaze me.
Oddballs. The college is not at all like in there, but that's okay. I went to college in my 40s.
Yeah.
So who am I to yell college at them? I mean, and my sister Michelle, doesn't help when your Aunt Michelle defends me when I said, Braxton doesn't want to go to college. And she goes, excuse me? I didn't go to college. And I said, yeah, Michelle, and she goes, I didn't go to college and I did okay. And I'm like, well, you're not helping. And she goes, when did you go to college? I'm like, not helping. Not helping.
Yes. Now, what if somebody wants to go back to college? They're 50. They want to get their associates. What would you tell them?
First thing I would do is go to a counselor there and tell them, just be transparent and go, like I did. I don't know how to do this. I don't have a clue. Can you break it down as if you're talking to a 5-year-old? Because they're going to come at you with their jargon as if you're 18 and you just came out of high school, and they're prepped and ready to go. They are college ready. Us old folks, we're not college ready. And if you are, God bless you.
Yeah.
But just be like, I need you to explain to me this process, how this works, as if you're talking to a 5-year-old. Like, okay, you're going to need, because they threw all the stuff at me. And to this day, I'm still trying to figure out when they said, you have this leg, you have to get this before you get that. And
that's right.
I didn't know any of this. And there's the assumption is that I would understand it. They need to be really transparent, and they're going to love you for this. Just say, I don't know this. You need to talk to me like I don't understand. Right. And then we break it into pieces that are manageable. I absolutely suggest getting assessed for any possible learning disabilities that they may or may not have. I brought my kids sleeping in my arms, tutoring how to write a research paper, because I had no idea. And Braxton was like right here, and I was just, bring them with you. Let them see the process. Bring your kids along with you, or if you're gone, they're going to support you. They're going to love it. Ask for help. Ask for tutor. Always email your professors before the first day and say, hi, my name is Susie and I'm 50 years old. And this is the first time I've ever done this. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to meet you. Hold on. This is my first class, my first journey. You're probably going to see me a lot in office hours. They will love you. That's right. I use my real name in college, Dorothy. And they'd go around the room and introduce. And I'm like, I'm Dorothy. And they'd go, oh yeah, I got your email. Hi, Dorothy. Already they know you.
Yes. That's a very good idea.
And they will, I promise you, they will love you because they love the students that want to be there.
Yes.
It's not about the student that has all the answers, because if they could be teaching the class if that's the point. The teacher's not needed if they know all the answers. They want you to ask questions. They want you to say, I'm so sorry, can you explain that? Because I promise you, other kids would come to me after the class and say, thank you for asking that question. I was too shy. I didn't understand that either.
Yes.
And so when you ask that stupid question, and there is no such thing as a stupid question, ask it, because I promise you somebody else is like, thank God she asked that question, because I didn't understand that either, but they didn't have the courage to ask because they didn't want to come off looking stupid. It's nice that when you're older, you're like,
I know. Did you feel embarrassed sitting in your first class, like going for the first time? Were you embarrassed? I know I was. I was 28. With all kids, 18 years old, and I'm like,
I literally always sat in the back. I still do. I can see better, but I sat in the back corners, and I just watched, and I was really quiet. I didn't raise my hand for the first 2 years because I was shy and embarrassed, and I felt like it wasn't my backyard. Like my backyard, get on a movie set, that's my backyard.
Yes.
That's how a movie set works.
Yes.
But somebody else's backyard. This was their backyard, and I was invited to come to play. Never felt like I belonged because I just didn't understand it. Whereas these kids, most, they came right out of high school, so they're just, they just go right into it. That's probably why I also would go home and drink, because I was just so uncomfortable in my skin. But now looking back, I think it's more about, just leaning into it, and it's okay if you're nervous. That's okay. And in time, I promise you, you'll become a little less nervous, and you'll just meet that one professor who, like, when they call on you and you start to stutter or forget what you were saying, which has happened to me, they go, it's okay, happens to me all the time. Dorothy, we'll come back to you. And then make you feel like it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Right.
They can see you're nervous. They can see that you feel like that you don't belong. They're going to want you to do well. They're going to root for you. Not all professors. I'm not going to give them all that, because some of them, some are clocking in, and that's fine. But the other ones will literally profoundly make a difference. It's kind of like even your kids. They don't have all fabulous teachers. They get that one or that two that make a difference. Yeah. College is the same.
Right. Thank you so much for all this. You're truly one of my favorite people. Is that okay? Because you're so cool. You're too cool. Thank you so much. I'm all messed up here. I had so many questions, but I think we answered them as we went down. Yeah, we went. Let's talk about Big Sky.
Big Sky, yeah.
That little show that you're on.
ABC Tuesday nights, plug, yeah.
Yes, it's coming on in the fall. Is that when it starts?
Girl, we just came back on last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I gotcha.
Sorry, I thought I saw the fall in something. All right.
Well, for whatever it's worth, I haven't seen it. Actually, we came back last week and we just aired last night again. I haven't seen it either. It's okay. I have it recorded. I don't like to look at myself. I love seeing everyone else. Okay, Big Sky is a crazy, crazy, crazy wild ride. It's emotionally charged, sexually charged, politically charged. Not politically, but we touch into topics that are like, ooh. We're going to tease you like crazy. Cliffhangerville. If you watch the pilot, and it's hard to talk about this show in case people haven't seen it yet, binge it. It's going to be a good binger. Otherwise, we make you wait once a week, which is fun. Cliffhanger.
So you can't binge this show?
Yeah, Hulu. Go to abc.com or Hulu. A lot of people who haven't seen it are binging it now, and they're like having a great time.
Awesome.
What else about the show? The show is, I put it this way, if you've seen the pilot, one thing I love about Big Sky, nobody's safe. If you've seen the pilot, nobody's safe as cast members. Like, to kill off one of us would make for a fantastic episode. So I love the fact that people go, what's going on next in your show? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know until I get the script. And like you guys, I read these scripts and go, oh, okay. Didn't see that one coming.
Wow. So interesting.
Diverse. We have a lot of different cast members, age ranges, genders, gender identities, some new actors. Some of us have been doing it forever, and some in between who are kind of, just brand new, but, exciting new talent.
Yeah. Discovered
talent. So it's fun. We have a little bit for everybody, I think, except for children. I wouldn't know. No, I wouldn't want children to watch this show.
I love it so much. Thank you so much. It's on Tuesday nights, ABC, Big Sky. Thank you so much, Dedee. You are a true inspiration, and I mean that from the bottom of this little heart.
Thank you. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart that what you said went right to my heart. Thank you.
Thank you. You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Please contact AA.org to find out how you can get the help you need. When Dogs Fly is a coloring book for adults and a meditation guide. It can help you distress your life. Pick one up at Amazon today.
Are you looking to better your life but need a little more motivation? Contact leadership and life coach Ben Pappas at coaching@benpappas.com. That's coaching at BENPAPPAS.com. Making a Difference is sponsored by Preferred Health Magazine. Please visit www.preferredhealthmagazine.com today and subscribe.